Welcome back to RuneScape League's Catalyst. We have all skills 99 plus, so there's a lot of things we can do. Like a bunch of skilling tasks. There's 80 points for harvesting 100 incandescent energy from incandescent wisps. 100 energy is very easy to come by. It's like 3 at a time. A pretty quick task for 80 points. I'm gonna just be starting here with some divination stuff in a few different places. Next up, we have the Hall of Memories, where we fill up a whole bunch of storage bots and give them to the archivist here for 80 points. All the data from 1. Then we get a new one, and we go to the next level of things and collect more of the stuff. It's like 5 of these. And here's the 5th one. Out of 5. Turn it in. Get some XP. And 200 points for all the core data. We also got a whole bunch of these memory jars. Just chuck over here for 57,000 XP each. 16 times XP. It's pretty good. And after this, we have stuff right above here. The Memorial to Jagex. Whole place up here. Lots of stuff to do. Specifically, engrams. Starts with the tutorial, where you get the first one, do the whole thing, put it in here, turn the thing on. And that changed our chronicles to Jagex butterflies, which give experience in your lowest skill, which ended up getting us 100 dungeoneering and archaeology. The first level of which counted as a level, and then it noticed that we had the maxed combat level, so we got the 200 points for that. So that was something. Did try to like log out and everything previously, hop worlds, that didn't trigger it. But getting another level did, so we are not cheated out of those points. In order to continue the Memorial to Jagex here, though, beyond the first one, requiring the lowest level stuff, there is 11 more scattered around the world, a whole bunch of different places, which you can charge up with all the other kinds of energy. We got this one here, charge it up. Very fun. And then just keep on going. Each of these require memory strands. And that means we have to go and get memory strands. Specifically, we got it from just kind of AFKing over at the highest level incandescent area. And to make that go more smoothly, we went ahead and got the archaeology relic to just slam the entire inventory of energy balls and stuff into the divination hole. Just instantly. It was very quick to get. Very easy. Charge this, charge these, charge these. And this one, and this one. When I got all the energy previously, I was waiting for divination caches before. But now we have all these which you can turn in. We turn in either to Orla or at one of the pools here. We just turn it in with Orla, and then we have an option to put it on the plinths. Treasure Center activated energy and some memory strands. Take a look at it, please. Perfect. 1,000,000 XP. And that's not the only one. We've been busy indeed. Take any more you have and add them to the pool. 11 million XP. And that gives us 110 divination for 200 points. Or, I guess it's virtual 110 divination, so no points. But we did get the 200 points for attuning and handing in all the engrams to the Memorial of Jagex. We can go around to the plinths here and put everything on. Why not? See if we can switch up or add some more additional things to the fountain power here. There's also like resets and weekly decision for what power you're using and stuff like that. We're gonna turn everything on here. Just have all the fun little holograms going. And then we have one more divination thing to go do. Over in Prifdinus, there's these shadow guys. You can fight them and they sometimes drop shadow cores. You can throw the cores into this light rift here, sometimes getting a light core. Got one of those earlier for making the light creature. We went around on the Heft and Agility course with a light creature for a task. But now we've thrown a whole bunch of light cores in there. So we talked to Lord Amlod. We did the thing. About Lord Amlod, about the skills. And I can help with you. Already helped. We're very helpful. All sorts of tasks. Assuming it's in here. We did it. We did the thing. It's in here somewhere. Halfway to completing the diplomatic approach. Various achievements and things. Amlon. Nothing, thanks. I had to throw one more in after talking to him. That was very easy. Here's a lamp and 200 points. Fantastic. Lamp is going to be 800,000 divination XP. Not bad. And with that, we're basically done with divination. There's a few tasks that technically require divination level, but the actual divination portion is not really there. And also 50 million XP. We can easily get that from just the one Wilderness Flash event that gives divination XP. So that's basically done. Now we get to move on to a different skill. How about a whole pile of fletching stuff? With fletching 110, we're at a very good point where we can just do the tasks. Assuming we have all the materials. First up, use stock. We made 100 of these for 80 points. And the last one we're going to use to make a rune crossbow to spin the sinew. From the Max Guild to Lumbridge Castle here. Turn of events. Crossbow string. That would actually function on the crossbow here. Specifically just the regular crossbow. Make sure it actually works for the task. 80 points for that. Not exactly a high level requirement or anything, but works. Gonna make some mithril bolts. Tip a mithril bolt with a crossbow umph. Give this to that to make a mithril grapple for 30 points. It's something. And then magic log, magic stock. We have like 4,000 magic logs, so that was also easy to have. 200 of those we made for 200 points. There's also a task for making the dragon crossbow, but we do not have the dragon limbs, so can't do that right now. What we can do is make some rune bolts, along with our mithril bolts here, and tip them with these onyx bolt tips we got from somewhere. There's a nice good pile in the bank. 75 of those is 80 points. And then we got some elder logs from chopping elder trees. Did get another task accidentally completed. Chopping the elder tree near Edgeville was 200 points, 80 points, something. It was some points. And then we're gonna take that and make an elder shortbow unstrung. Just one. Made a few of these earlier. A total of 20 for 200 points. And that is the rune trophy for getting over 45,000. Still a ways to go for dragon though, as we can see in this graph here. We're getting there though. And it's also a little bit past dragon to get all the rewards, but we're working towards it. And continue working towards it with another elder log here. Making some Elder Arrow Shafts. Because regular arrow shafts just aren't good enough, clearly. Made 750 of these, 15 at a time. 200 points. Wow. A bit faster than getting all those Elder Logs. Was fighting a handful of mutated Jadinko guys to make a bolus for 80 points. And then we went to even higher level, to Eternal Magic Logs. Craft some of these with all this stuff, look at all that. Make a wood box here. We might actually have use for this. You can put logs in it, it's pretty great. 200 points for making that. Need like regular and oak and willow and maple and teak and mahogany and acacia and yew magic and elder and eternal magic logs. 6 each for all of those. It was a lot. We already had most of them though. And with the other eternal magic log here, let's make a basic eternal magic shortbow. Unstrung. And string it. And that is an eternal magic shortbow, which you can wield for 200 points. There's still a bunch more fletching tasks, but a lot of them require like more logs and doing other things. Go do a few of those, I suppose. There's 50 eternal magic logs chopped for 200 points. Needed some more of these for a couple other tasks, like making eternal magic shafts. 1,000 of them for 200 points. Really is just a ton of points in the fletching business. Need a few more elder magic logs for some other stuff, so we'll keep chopping them for now. Needed to do a bit of smithing for this next one. Well, there's 105 smithing. That's not a task. But 200 points for smithing a primal ore box, which we will never use to store ore because it goes straight to the bank with the fancy pickaxe. You can check the metal bank though, which is sometimes helpful. So that's something. Mostly did that to make these primal arrowheads. Finish making primal arrows here. 1,500 of those for 200 points. We made 1,000 shafts previously, so we need to make another 500 for this task. Because why not? Also, I just had this full primal in the bank from ages ago. Never even bothered to put it on, because I had made the masterwork by then. But still, just put all this on. There is 200 points. I think we might have another helmet in here that we could put on for some points. Something like that. The Helm of Nance Knot. Got it from the quest. It's not a good helmet anymore. But it's good for 30 points, I guess. But anyways. Next smithing, well, next fletching thing requires a quest. It's the Tourist Trap. Found Anna very quickly. Down in the mine. We win. Hi, Anna. Bye, Anna. What experience do we want? Fletching, basically I've already solved. Smithing is also pretty doable. Thieving's done. Agility isn't happening. Smithing's a more annoying one, so we'll get some smithing XP. Only 100-some thousand XP. That's okay. What I really needed this for is the ability to smith throwing darts. Specifically, rune darts. At breakneck speed here. Made 350 for 200 points. That's pretty good. Also over here, at a fletching table, doing fancy bow stuff. Fletch an eternal magic shortbow martial, which is basically like the burial smithing where it just goes away and you get more XP. 200 points for that. Also, here's a super cow. That's fun. A whole bunch of stuff went into making these dine arrows. charge it with some anima of Bic that we had in the bank from something back in God Wars 3. And there is 200 points. Fletch any type of Elder God arrow. Yep, that sure is one of those. We also have some Potterington Blend number 102 fertilizer. Give that to Prehistoric Potterington. Or the other one. One of them here. For another task. Specifically, this requires extinction for some reason. Or something like that. Rain Potterington, you want this? This right one? What am I supposed to do with that? Give me points, that's what you're supposed to do with that. You need to talk to her about the thing we already did before we can use the thing. All these dialogue requirement checks. Weird stuff. Here. Now. You good? Give me my points. Yep. 200 points for that. Requires extinction because this requires extinction, but you can do it without doing it and get to this point. But we did do extinction, so we get those 200 points. What is effectively the last fletching task, besides getting 50 million XP, but that's going to be more in AFK waiting for things time. Took a little bit more effort. Manipulating Lumberjack's intuition at the eternal magic trees to get as many enchanted seed nests as possible to get an elder seed. Now we plant it in the elder tree patch here. And then we don't need to wait over 2 days because farming power. We got a big old elder tree here. What a new elder tree. Look at that. Then we have to get some farming XP, which we don't really care about because we're already done with that. And then just chop one elder log here. Craft it into short bow. Fletch it. And that is 200 points. For growing, and then chopping, and then fletching. I guess technically only the fletching portion, but it did also require the woodcutting, so there you go. So yeah. There are still technically a few other fletching tasks, but they are make dragon and eldritch crossbow, then the 50 mil, which is easily doable in a bit here. Not really looking towards doing those right now. Dragon crossbow, eldritch crossbow, even less so, my goodness. Man, that means we basically need to continue on to a different skill. How about some fishing? Just gonna do some swarm fishing. All sorts of different stuff in here. And all sorts of different fish-related tasks. Would it maybe be faster to do everything separately? Yeah. This is fine, though. You get the stuff, and then bank it right there. Should be good. Oh, there is apparently our first task we're gonna get here. 50 million fishing experience for 200 points. Got a lot of this back in the Dream of Aya. And we got a lot more fish to catch, so clearly we did too much AFKing there. Well, that's alright. There's a manta ray. That's 80 points. We'll only need one of those. So, got that. At 99 fishing, that is not a very common thing to get. So, that worked out. If we didn't end up getting that from here, we would need to go get some magnetic minnows to make a special fancy bait. And then use that. But we got it. So that's one less thing we need to worry about. 200 points for 200 sailfish caught. Went and got a fishing rod-o-matic, put some perks on it. Went and did not get any of the other fishing rods because of reasons. But there is raw sailfish. Also just went to the specific locations because it's probably better than the swarm, I guess. Also, 200 points for 150 blue blubber jellyfish. So that's nice. We got plenty of other fish out in other places to go catch. 100 sharks out here in the fishing guild. 80 points. Here's 150 rocktails. That took a little bit. Getting attacked by the living rock guys and collect the living minerals. Just generally being fairly slow. Overall, 200 more points. Not too shabby. And then one fish that we didn't manage to get much earlier on when we were doing the swarm fishing. A singular catfish. Also 200 points. That's fair. That's totally reasonable. Only 150 times more, plus more difficult to catch, plus more difficult bait. Amazing. Sigh. 200 points for Fishing Frenzy 200 streak. Get a bonus 20% fishing XP. Not sure it's really working here with the other bonuses and stuff. So, really not worth it for fishing experience. Also very having to pay constant attention. Not ideal. For 200 points though, I'll do it. I did it. For the last fishing tasks here, we're gonna do some interesting stuff. Paradox spell. Gather more resources at 2 different points in time, but get less experience, which is definitely something. Cast it, 200 points, and then we fish here and catch a salmon for 30 points. We're getting double fish, but less XP. Also, we're out of inventory space. We do not have the super special leagues fishing thing that gives you fish cooked straight to the bank or anything. So that did make all the fishing tasks take a little bit longer, obviously. In terms of remaining fishing tasks, we got one that's quest locked, one that's fish flingers locked. We take presumably multiple trips through fish flingers, and it's a whole process. And it's only 80 points with a 0.5% completion rate currently, which means it's really not worth it in terms of time for the most part. There's definitely some tasks lower down on the list that you could totally get done in a reasonable time, but in general, such a low percentage means it's not a very good one. So we're just going to not do that for now. We've got plenty of other skills and other tasks we could do, which would be a little bit quicker and more effective. So we continue making progress here. Almost 50,000 points, but we need 60,000 and a bit more. So, plenty more to do. Next time. Goodbye.